But if you do this with the table, it tells you not to use it. I'm not sure if you're going to get a slightly different answer or not. That's the only problem. So if you put it in and it doesn't mark it correct and you know you got it correct and you've done it several times or a couple of times, then what does that tell you? You see what's happening down here? This is the manual calculation, the manual way. And what they did was multiply the principal. How do we get the 1.025? It is 1 plus the rate per period. So just in case you have problems with this one, it's 1 plus the rate per period. See how they use it all the way across? And what you do is you start off with the principal, and you multiply times that number, and you get this answer. Now notice that carries over to the second step. You do this for 4 periods, right? 4 times. So the same thing here. You multiply times the 1.025, and then that answer becomes the answer or the principal for the 3rd period. This becomes the principal for the 4th period. So evidently they want you to calculate it that way. You can try with the table and see if it marks it correct for you. That's what I would do.
And it tells you table 12 points once.
Yeah. I don't remember from last semester if there's any problem with that or not. So
I don't remember.
Maybe there wasn't. Okay, so back to this problem. To get the amount, we already discussed how to get N and R, right? You know the drill. I mean, I don't want to repeat it 13 times tonight. If you need me to, I will. If you have any questions about it. The amount is the future value amount. Then they want the interest. And just like the last problem, how do we get the interest, the loan? We subtract the principal from the
total amount.
A total amount, or the amount. Subtract the principal from the amount. And that gives you just the interest. So that's how much interest was earned on this investment at 8%, compounded twice a year for 7 years. Okay, ready for another one? All right, this is an APR problem. APY, excuse me, or effective rate, almost the same thing. So, do you recall talking about that last time we were here? Look at what they give you up at the top. The principal, the interest rate, and the compounding method. In this case, it's going to be quarterly, 4 times. So 4 is the magic number. Now, to answer this problem, to get the effective rate of interest, you have to go through the same process that you would in the previous 2 problems, the same 3 steps. And right here, once you get to the future value, what are we doing? This is where you have to pay attention. Right here, this is the future value, but they don't want that. They want the effective interest rate. We have to go further. We subtract the principal from the future value. That gives us what? Just the interest. Good. And what is the formula for effective rate? Interest divided by principal. And that's this right here. See, interest divided by principal. The effective rate is always higher than the rate that's stated up in the problem. Notice it's 6% up at the top. So you're actually earning 6.14%. Question?
You said that you take the 1.5 and put 1 in front of it to do it, but why is it 1.0612?
Oh, that's the table factor.
Oh,
Where you click on the table.
oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, no, it's the table. Yeah, don't get confused with problem 1.
Yeah.
That's the only one you're going to have like that. And if I'd have noticed that, I probably would have taken it off.
Oh.
But I'll leave it on there, since we already went over. Okay, so any questions about how to do this? Same process, except you take it a step further. You find out what the interest is alone, just the interest. After you find the future value amount, then you divide the interest by the principal. That gives you the effective rate. Are you ready for another one? No? Come on.
Is this number 3?
Yes. We can go now? Okay, it's another one just like it. It's no different. Just like it. The only thing that's different is the numbers. Principal 17,000, interest rate is 16%, and it's compounded quarterly, so you're going to use 4 to calculate N and R. You're going to use 4. So once you calculate N and R, you go to the table, you find this table factor, you will find this table factor in the table, multiply it times the principal. This gives you the future value. But we don't stop there, right? We subtract out the principal from it to isolate the interest. And then we simply divide the interest by the principal.
Is it just by chance that the last 2 problems is you drop the 1 and move it over 2, and that's the percentage? It's been like that one, but
Oh, right here?
yeah, like that's the.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Oh, I mean
because,
up there, though.
where at?
Where you get the table answer, the 1.169.
Oh, the table factor.
Yeah. You drop the 1 and move it over 2
Yeah.
on the last 2 problems. That's what the answer.
I wouldn't try to use that as a general rule.
Okay.
That's just my advice. Can you do that? I don't think so.
On the last 2.
It's probably totally coincidental. Yeah. Okay. Questions about this one? Notice 16.99% is higher than 16. It's always going to be higher. Already? Okay, something different. Something different. Notice, well, they even tell you right here, present value. So which table to use? Present value. And the table link is right here, as always, okay? So here are the givens. Now it says the amount desired at the end of the period, $9,400. So what we're thinking about here is how much do we have to invest today for it to grow into $9,400? How much do we have to invest today for it to grow into $9,400? Over 2 years, if we earn 24% compounded monthly, that's pretty good. Yeah. Don't see that anywhere. Okay. So we have to give, look at these 2 answers. This is ridiculously easy, okay? All this is N and R. You just put them in as answers for this problem. It's N and R, which are calculated right here, right? 2 years, and it's compounded monthly, so we're going to use what this time?
12.
12 to get N and R. And then 24% is the interest rate divided by 12, of course, and you get 2%. That's where we got this 2%. This answer also a given, almost a given, because you have to go to the table with N and R as always and get the table factor, and you plug it in here. So 3/4 of your answer here, or the credit, you know, for the points here, is just finding N, R, and the table factor, which you have to find anyway. And then, of course, once you multiply that table factor times the principal, you get the present value amount of $58,43.98. So that means you'd have to invest this much today for 2 years at 24% compounded monthly for it to grow to $9,400. So the present value of $9,400 in this case is $58.43.98. Already? Okay, just like the last one. Should be very similar. Present value again. Here are the four givens. Again, we have a very high interest rate, 20%. And it's compounded quarterly this time. So you find N, you find R, you go to the table, get the factor, multiply times the principal, and you get your present value. Now notice the first three answers. Look how easy that is. This is N, this is R, there's a table factor. And you have to get those anyway. Okay, so just about halfway through. Next chapter will be very similar. Okay. Ready? Okay, what do we have here? Now we have a little story, a very short one. We have Greg. He will need approximately $218,500 in 14 years from now, to cover his 3-year-old daughter's college bills for a 4-year degree. How he can tell how much it's going to cost in 14 years, I don't know. I guess I'm sure there's a way you can look at the past history of the average increase in the cost of tuition and find some percentage and multiply it times a number of years, you know, and figure that out. But nobody really knows. 14 years is a long time away to plan for. Yeah, a lot of things will change, and things can affect tuition rates, make them skyrocket or drop. Usually they go up, not down. So. Okay, how much would he have to invest today? How much would he invest today? That tells you its present value. At an interest rate of 10%, compounded semi-annually. Okay, there's your table link. So, same old process. Do I have to say it again?
And our table factor.
Yeah, I mean, it's same thing next chapter.
We'll be using the same formula.
Yep. So it looks like he'd have to invest $55,739.35. Today, just go and put that much at once in an account at one time for it to grow to this amount in 14 years.
Better be rich or
If
have a good job.
Yeah, if he's earning 10%.
Yeah.
Where did the 2 come from?
Where at? Here at the 2?
That's
20,
you.
yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause it's,
Where is it?
Does it say semi-annual? Okay, I didn't see
Yeah.
that, that's fine.
It's kind of sad really when you start to think about it, education costing that much to begin with.
It's ridiculous. I probably didn't pay half as much as you do. I mean, it was like $1,000 a semester, maybe. And that might have been with books.
Well, you had a GI Bill too, right? Cheater.
That's the old days, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. When we couldn't take tests online and cheat using our notes in our books.
Cheap.
$300 books.
Yeah, that's true. You pay for them. Any questions about this one? All right. go ahead and read through the top first. We have Lynn, owner of a local Subway shop, who's loaning $40,100 to Pete to help him open his own Subway shop. Now, Pete is going to repay Lynn at the end of 9 years, and Lynn is charging Pete 4% interest compounded semi-annually.
Pete would never agree to that.
Huh? Yeah, so, did it say they were friends? No. Why would you be loaning someone $40,000 if that wasn't a friend or a family member? I don't know.
I would never agree.
I wouldn't
with
even-
Then if you were, you charge them interest? I don't know. Just, okay. So anyway, how much will Lynn receive at the end of 9 years? So Lynn's going to make a profit on this loan.
Yeah.
Heck, yeah.
So find N, find R, table factor, multiply times the principal. And the receive amount, what does that represent? The present or future value?
Future
Future value. How can we tell that?
Because
Because
it's compound.
40,100 is going to grow to 57,270.
Nice.
Yeah.
Making ourselves a 17.
So how much is the profit there? Who can tell us?
$17,170.82.
Nice.
That better be a good Subway shop.
$17,000.
Wow.
Business, baby, business.
You do it
I
exactly.
put 17,100.
$17,170.
It'll be all right.
Yeah, Subway's the #1 selling franchise, so it's not hard to fail. Ready for another one?
Yes.
Are they really?
Hey,
Yeah, Subway's.
Jimmy John's is better, baby. Jimmy John's is better.
I don't know what happened to Quiznos. Something to do with those.
I do like. Yeah.
Yeah, Quiznos was pretty obnoxious.
Okay, so effective rate problem, effective rate. Let's take a look at the top. We have Molly who deposits $51,700 in Bank of America at 12% interest, compounded quarterly. Okay, it can't be a savings account. But what are the steps to figure this out? Same old thing. You had 2 problems like this earlier, right? Effective rate. So you run through the normal drill, and then you do what? Once you find the future value, you subtract. Almost, but there's one step before that. You find the future value, then you subtract from that the principal.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the interest at that point. Then it's interest divided by principal. Yeah. $12.55% is higher than 12%. It's always higher. Ready for another one? That's probably the easiest chapter. Okay. We have John who works for the Gap. The Gap, the store.
Yes.
He loans $4,300 to another employee at the store. So another one of these loan situations.
That's an HR issue right waiting to happen.
Probably so, yeah. He, meaning John, will be repaid at the end of 10 years with, well, what if he doesn't, are they going to keep in touch for 10 years?
I know.
Facebook, baby.
10 years with interest at 8% compounded quarterly. So how much is John going to make, or how much will he be repaid in total? And then from that, we could also figure out how much is the interest. You know, how much did he profit on the loan? So we go through the drill, you know it, and it looks like John's going to get $9,494 back and 40 cents. He loaned $4,300, so he is more than doubling that. Now that takes 10 years though, so I'd be pretty skeptical about loaning someone money and say, okay, pay me back in 10 years. Just a fellow employee, you know.
It is. You better be covering.
Unless he's a CFO or something.
Okay.
I'm lucky they pay you back a dollar, they borrow back.
Huh?
You're lucky to get back a dollar, they borrow back.
Yeah, I read a saying. I've lost a lot of money, I've helped people out, and you know how
Yeah.
it goes, I think we all have, and then you never hear from them again. It could be someone you've known for years, you loan them some money, all of a sudden you don't hear from them anymore. But I read this quote somewhere that said that if you loan someone $20 and never hear from them again, you're probably better off.
Yeah.
It's
And it was
probably
worth,
true.
that's all that's.
It was worth it. Now, if you loaned them
Numbers are on the table.
10,000,
What
you might want to go
The
look.
4,300?
Yeah.
No, the 4,300
right,
is the
sorry.
I'd be
problem.
hiring a bounty hunter, you know.
Oh, I do like
Yeah.
mafia.
And,
Well, you have to pay them,
You're confusing
and
yourself.
then that's illegal.
Only if you get caught.
That's the only thing. Okay, any questions about this one? Obviously not, right?
Rules are gonna be broken.
Exactly.
All right.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
number 11?
Just one. Okay, we have Jim. Just a few more left. We have Jim, and he owns a Burger King restaurant. Assuming that his restaurant will need a new roof in 5 years, he estimates the roof will cost $9,700 at that time. What should Jim invest today? Today, so what does that tell you? It's present value at 10% compounded quarterly to be able to pay for this roof in 5 years. Okay, so you know your answer is going to be much less than 9,700. You can see that. That's how you can tell it's present value. Because when it's future value, it's the other way around, right? The number in the problem is smaller than the answer. Anyway, you run through the drill, you know it, and this is what he would have to put down today to get that roof. 5 years.
Is that 10% divided by 4?
Yeah,
Yes.
because it's quarterly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Quarterly.
That's a problem.
Huh?
Well, that's a problem. Oh,
Yeah,
no, 2
I
more.
know we're going to finish quite early today.
if we have time, could you go back over 1 and 2, please? Thank you.
We're ready for another one.
Yes.
Okay, Tony wants to send or wants to attend himself Northeast College if he deposits $45,836.56. Today, how much will he have in 5 years from now at 6% interest compounded semi-annually? Now, is this present or future value?
President.
It's future. How do we know?
Because you want to know what he's gonna have in 5 years.
You want to know
5
how
years
much
from
this
now,
is going to grow to in 5 years, which you can see the answer is higher, obviously, right? So you know the drill. You go through the steps.
And according to our other problem, 61,000 still won't be enough.
Well, it depends on what college you go to, you know, and which university. And
If you have
Harvard, it's much.
$45,800, you should be able to pay for college.
Just pay cash for it.
Yeah, if you have that much, you just put down.
Okay,
Oh, you.
so one more.
Wow.
Okay, last one.
Yeah.
We have Paul. He promises his grandson Jamie that he would give him $6,600 6 years from today for graduating from high school. Assume money is worth 10% interest compounded semi-annually. What is the present value? They tell you right here. It's present value of the $6,600. Notice the answer is much lower than $6,600. So, in other words, this guy wants to give his grandson some money, you know, so many years from now. How much would he have to invest today to make it grow to that amount? So you run through the drill again. Same old thing. So I'll go ahead and mention now, when we meet next time on Monday, I will jump straight into the quiz. Because it's the same routine, basically. There is a little twist to it, it's annuities. So I'll explain what an annuity is. But it's still present value and future value of an annuity this time.
We meet for the next chapter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna knock that one out in one day. Like I told you, we're getting towards the end, there'll be one or two chapters. If they're very simple, we'll just knock it out in one day. Chapter 14 might take 2 days, probably will. So, question?
Yeah. So when you go to the table, you find and go down to the number, and then go over to the rate, and that's how you get your, I just wanna make sure.
Any other questions about anything?
I didn't want to get confused with that, so I wanted to just use the table and
Yeah.
Okay, so you wanna see number 1?
Yeah, 2, please.